A lot of people ask about our pack weight, and I always forget to check. 34 pounds with everything in it. Full water, full food, all the camera stuff. It's pretty typical, 34 pounds. Sometimes it can be a little lighter. It rarely gets much heavier than that though. Okay, I'm all prepared for the trip. Tonight I'm gonna drive to Brian's house, then we're all gonna leave in the morning first thing. Now that I'm all good to go, I think I'm gonna go on a run. Haven't gone on a run in a little while. Feel good. We're gonna do that. All right, I have arrived. I'm much more tired than I thought I would be. I'm going straight to bed. So I finally coalesced in my head what I was trying to say the other day about presentation versus utility. This is a camera. This is an iPad. I have never once, ever cared about the way a camera looks. I don't care what it looks like. I don't lust after the physical features whatsoever. It is 100% pure utility. Obviously, size and weight, those do count, but as far as like the actual design and the way it looks, do not care. Could not care less. It's weird how much this actually is just utility for me. It's 100% utility. Only what I get out of it. This stupid iPad, the way it's designed and the way it looks, just makes me like go, oh yeah, I love the way this looks. Let me look at it, let me touch it, all this stuff. And I think about that a lot, and that's part of the appeal of it. I don't know if that's necessarily wrong or not. There's something about it that feels slightly wrong to me. But I just think about this camera and it is really nice to be completely free of the need to baby this and make sure it still looks nice and caring at all what it looks like. It's just, I don't care what it looks like. I've never cared what it looks like somehow. I don't look at this as like this precious device. I only look at it for what it gives me and what I can produce with it. And I think it's probably okay that I actually care what this looks like. And I think it's fun that it looks really cool. But in some ways, I kind of wish it didn't look cool. And I only used it for its utility, you know? I don't know, more thoughts on this as I coalesce them in my brain. Actually, one more thought about this. I bet people would probably take me more seriously if I actually took a shower every day and made sure that my hair was somewhat presentable. It's just, man, who has the time for that? I probably have the time for that. But that's like the presentation versus utility. Like if some sage looking person is giving you advice, you're like, oh yeah, okay, then it's coming from a good source. It's like, we can't separate those. Like our brains aren't really wired to separate presentation from actual meat. you know? It's like the exterior matters. They always say like, oh, it doesn't matter what people look like on the outside, it's what they act like on the inside. But we're wired to see both. And it's really hard to separate those sometimes. Did I mention the trip went well? The trip went great. I always make sure to air out my tent after a trip, make sure it doesn't get moldy. I'm usually one of those people who unpacks the day they get back, which I know many people could not even begin to fathom doing, including the people I hike with. You know what one of the best things I've ever bought for camping was this little stove. This thing was like 10 bucks on Amazon. It has been rock solid for years. In fact, I need to find out when I bought this. April 10th, 2017, bought it for $9.49. $9.49. I've used it for over 3 years. It has functioned perfectly the entire time. It doesn't seem the most sturdy, but as long as it keeps working, this is one of the best buys ever. Speaking of which, my brother got this for me, like I think before we started Adventure Archives. It has been around for ages. We burned the handle trying to use it over a fire. This was before we even knew that you could get one of these little guys, and I gave it to Brian for years. Eventually he got a new one and gave it back to me. This might be a buy it for life sort of deal. And speaking of buying it for life stuff, I've had this Brinkmann headlamp that my cousin got for me. Apparently I didn't buy any of my own stuff. In 2007, that's 13 years. This thing has been melted, the battery case is falling apart. But let me tell you something, this thing still works like a champ. And as long as it still works like a champ, I will continue to use it. I mean, how could you not take me seriously? Come on, man. So I believe I talked about this thing right before I left. Does this have a purpose in Adventure Archives anymore? I ended up not taking it on this trip, and I only missed it one time. And that was for time lapses at night when we still wanted to use one of the cameras, but have another camera doing a time lapse. So I found the perfect solution. Right now this has a quick release mounting thing on the top, so you can just slide it right in. Boom, you're ready to go. If we're not needing to move the camera on and off really quickly, we don't need that quick release plate. And the only reason not to bring this thing is weight. So this weighs a pound. Without it, it weighs 9 ounces. So almost half the weight. So 9 ounces for a little mini tripod that will definitely have a use at least some of the time. I think that's worth it. So I will take it with me next time, see if it gets any use. If it doesn't get any use then we can further think about it. But you know, that's that refinement, you know, you always gotta refine, perfect, love it. Okay, let's see if I can make myself somewhat presentable before class. Okay, I'm cleaned up and everything. Do you take me more seriously now? Does what I say hold more weight now? Do you still think I'm like 22 years old? Do you guys realize I'm turning 36 next month? Which means I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30. Matter of fact, I bet many of you are like, wow, he's wise beyond his years. Or, wow, he is extremely immature for his age. You don't know my whole scenario. You just have no idea what other people are actually like. Even me, somebody who films his life every day, people have no idea. People have no idea who I am, or what my life situation is, or what my background is, or anything. They just make assumptions about everything. Not that any of you have been doing that, like I haven't been reading comments for months. This has just occurred to me recently. So anyway, it's your daily reminder to don't assume or judge people by their covers. You don't know the full story. Unless you do know the full story, in which case, please do judge them if you feel the need to. All right, I'm gonna go teach this class. I think I know my songs, man. I think I actually know them. This is great. Oh, all right, yeah, no problem. Oh, okay, that class went well. I actually knew all my songs, man, had some energy, it was good. Man, I look forward to the days that I can teach inside again. It's just being in like a smaller space, I don't know, the music sounds better, you can interact with people better. I don't know. I'll miss real life, regular life.
Bring their own switch end thing over the Vaybon anyway. And it's not like drifting on your actual floor. CC, you're kind of like slowly creeping through your place.
Man, I have not done a live stream in a while. Live streams are just so much fun, man. They're just like little simple entertainment. I'll do one of those tomorrow. So look forward to that if you're into that type of thing. If you're not, then don't. For me, it's time to eat. Okay, that will do it for today's vlog. Thank you very much for watching. Stream sometime after this video's release. I don't know what I'll be streaming yet, but we'll be streaming something. I'll see you then. You're gonna focus or what?